Can we get up there? I mean, we're
I do.
they're out next week.
I do. Clerk, please call the roll.
Calling the Jamestown City Council work session to order. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon? Schultz?
Here.
Scotchmer?
Here.
Jarzynski? Here. Faulkner?
Here.
Bonfiglio?
Here.
Enquist?
Present.
Gonzalez?
Here.
President Brackman?
Here. So tonight we have representatives here from the Board of Public Utilities that will give us an update on the new grant, broadband fiber network that's getting rolled out. So.
Good evening, Chris Elstrom, Jamestown BPU. I'm handing out right now some flyers that are going around. The first page is the door tags that will be hung on our community buildings and houses and homes and businesses. So the door tags, the first page, these are going to go around. What we're going to start doing is the service drops. And I actually got some show and tell tonight. It's fun. So the service drops, the customer is going to get, about 2 weeks after these door tags go out, they'll get one of these on the side of their house with this cable. Looks big, but this is 100 feet. It's only about a quarter inch if you look at it. But this is the demarcation point for the fiber. So we'll install the fiber to the house, it'll run down to the hook on the house, and it'll run down to this box. And then later, there's no cost to any of this.
That gets to the side of the house?
This goes to the side of the house.
Inside, you said?
Outside.
Oh, outside, okay.
Just like your cable box.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
So that goes on the exterior of the house. And then once they've got a door tag, they have 2 weeks. And then the installers will show up and install that in the service drop. So from there, the customers basically have access to the internet if they want. There's no cost for any of that part. If they choose to take service, what we'll do is we'll schedule an in-home install, which takes it from that box into the house. And then they'll get one of these inside their house that actually goes to the internet. And they'll also get a Wi-Fi router as well. The Wi-Fi router, I think I showed that last time. So we're making really good progress with the project. So making really good progress. We've got the majority of the aerial fiber done. Of the 173 miles of fiber that need to be hung, we're 153 miles of it is complete. So we're really cruising along. Inside the fiber, this is a single strand of fiber. Careful, the ends are sharp. It is made out of glass.
Wow.
It won't hurt you if you don't poke yourself, but it might feel like a needle to poke yourself. So many of the cables have 144 strands, 24 strands of these individual fibers. Inside of that one that I passed around, there's a single fiber. It's big just for mechanical protection, so that it can withstand the weather and things. But that fiber has a ton of data capacity, and that's how we're able to offer up to 2 gigabits per second of internet service, which is really fast. So almost all the aerial work is done. 153 of the 170 something miles of aerial work is done. We've got the drop crews coming. National On Demand is the drop installer. They're going to be coming between 20 and 25 crews in 2 weeks. So once these door tags started getting hung today, so 83 of those will hung today, and more will be hung tomorrow, and so on. And in 2 weeks, the drop installers will show up and install the drops. If there's a home or a resident or a commercial business that doesn't want the service drop, there's a QR code on the back of the flyer that will allow them to opt out. Scan the QR code, they can go to the website for Q&As, and they can opt out of the on-home install. We're recommending that nobody does that because right now we have the funding to do all of this work. So we're hoping that people will take the service. They don't actually have to do anything to get this, they just have to not opt out. And then they get all this infrastructure, which one of these packages is around $300. One of these packages is around $300 each plus labor to get it installed. So really good time to get it done, get it paid for, get it on your house or your business. So we're really excited about that. That's a lot more than we had planned. So we're excited that we're able to do way more. We were originally only going to do 5,000 drops, and now we're doing all 14,000. So ahead of schedule, doing great, really happy. Downtown, we're still working on design. We're trying to minimize how much digging we have to do. There's a lot of underground downtown. So we're we're still working through the design phase on that. But the neighborhood residential underground areas, so in areas where there aren't poles on the street or there's only backlot poles where the poles run between houses in the backyards, those areas we're going to go underground. And so they've actually started the install already. They'll be installing about 1.25 inch conduit, HDPE conduit, and they come in with kind of like a plow, bigger thing. It's got a little auger on it. They'll dig a little trench and they'll drop it in and it backfills itself on the way by. And then there will be some handholds inside the median so that we can pull the cable in later. So.
What's the significance of the different color?
Oh, they're just color coded.
Okay.
So I didn't mention splicing. So a big part of this effort, I mentioned some of these cables have 144 of these individual strands. This particular one is a blue and a purple. Again, I have really good eyesight to do this, but there's 144 different colors in the bundles, and they will actually splice these end to end with a fusion splicer. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
That's how the light travels. So at every pole, they've got to splice these together. So the splicing is still on its way, which is one of the big hurdles that we have left beyond the drop count. About half of the splicing that needs to be done is completed, and the splicing needs to be done before we do the drop install. Because what they'll do with the drop install is they'll test it all the way back to the substation. So they won't install the drop until everything upstream is ready. But I think there's about 5,000 houses that are already cleared and ready to launch. So in 2 weeks we'll start getting a lot of these. Mostly will start on the south side, southeast corner. Okay. So the door tags, the opt-out. There's other questions and Q&A and stuff on our website, as well as you can get there by this QR code. There's also the news release and some Q&A in the back, just in case you have any other questions. If you start hearing other questions, love to hear them so we can get answers to them and get them on our website and get them on these types of things. We try to answer the ones that we thought were relevant, but new questions always come up. So
You're not on the west side yet?
the west, we're hanging fiber there, but the drops won't be there probably until
Okay,
midsummer.
just, when you redid 3rd Street, they put a lot of the conduit underneath, you're gonna use that?
Yep.
Okay.
We're coordinating with that as well as some other places in the neighborhoods with
Not,
existing conduit.
just a question, because I got a weird situation. There's a telephone, it's like in the parking lot of the funeral home.
There's the back lot, yeah.
So, there's the out, but I don't have that conduit running towards the underground conduit by my house, so how?
I'll let you know where they ended the
I don't
second
know where
part.
how they would do it. Just curious.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. I'm sure you will.
It might go to a pole and then drop underground.
Okay.
You know, especially if it's open grass, it's pretty easy to put the conduit in. It's downtown is really the underground is tricky because there's a lot of other stuff downtown.
All right.
So I think that was most of my update on fiber. Overall, I think we've been really happy with our contractors. It's been a very interesting project, but we're getting to the point where people can start getting service. I think there was some advertising going on now with Sumo Fiber. But Sumo Fiber and FiberSpark are the two ISPs that are on our network right now. Sumo has a 16-week ad campaign in the Post Journal, I guess. And we also got some customers signed up that have some things to say. So I think Ellen can.
We do have some early adopters, and I think this is important for all of you to hear. There's been positive comments. Remember, we put people on early so that they could test it for us. There are beta testers to make sure things were going well. Here's two that were FiberSpark customers from the get-go, so they chose that as their ISP. They said the sign-up and installation process was quick and easy, which is something we really strive for. Installers were professional and quick, and provided the equipment, which Chris showed you, the equipment that will go inside the home. We're happy with the speed and the much lower monthly cost. And again, that was a critical component of doing this project. And the second customer said, I want to know the cost, which I love. It's a fraction of what I was paying for with my other provider. It was a way better product. Very pleased with the service. Thank you for the work to provide this for our community. Switching to the BPU fiber was a no-brainer. So again, positive comments. We're expecting more of those. We're going to start to use some of those testimonials in our posts, our social posts and our advertising, so people can see that this is a community benefit. So just a couple of things we wanted you to know.
Thanks, Ellen. So Ellen DeTanto and Becky Robbins have been working really hard to get the word out in the messaging. So I'm sure you've seen all the great billboards and marketing efforts on social media and on via email. Just a quick plug for the prices again. I had to update them today, but $53.25 for 2 gig service, upload and download speeds, full speeds. And there's a couple other packages, but down to $38.25 for 300 megabits per second. We don't expect those rates to change. And there's also 90 days of free service. So if you sign up, the QR codes on there. So the customers, when they get those door tags, they can sign up for service if they want it. Otherwise, they don't really have to do anything at all. And we'll come and get the drop installed. And then at some point in the future, if they ever do want service, all they have to do is sign up on the website and we'll schedule the in-home install. One other quick plug that's not fiber related, but the Retool Conference, June 9th, is coming up. Pretty excited about that. So if you haven't signed up and got your tickets yet, come join us. Any questions?
Just a comment about, I know Brett and I are on the board along with the mayor. And this page, it has all the questions on it. Make sure you keep that because there'll probably get a lot of questions from constituents that are, if they're not, and understand what's happening. I see people coming in their house, what are they doing, what's going on, do I have to pay for this, I don't know. So just make sure that you can answer the questions so that if they call you, you know
Okay.
what the number of questions would be.
And if you lose it, it is under door tag basically. It's right up there. The Q&As are right there on the website.
So I see a lot of poles laying on
On Washington Street,
yeah.
yeah, we're working on it. We put in about 500 new poles for
Wow.
this project, replacing a lot of old poles that have been on our list to replace, but we really haven't had the time or the money to do it. So we've done a lot of work with some poles. Our line workers have been working overtime for about 1.5 years, so they're doing an amazing job. How much
Yeah.
they get done. But Washington Street's one of the last pushes. That was one of the DOT corridors, so they needed the state permit to install on those roads. So we got all that done and we're moving forward. Those will probably be in the next 2 weeks. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No other questions? I will now open up the floor for anyone that would like to address the council this evening. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes. Nobody?
I'll just
I
do
know.
a poll street. I've spoken at the last 2 meetings, I have nothing to say, have a good night, ladies. There we go.
All right, thank you, thank you. All right, well, hearing none, we will go into our standing committees. Councilwoman Krasinski, what do you got for housing?
Thank you, Madam President. We actually had a little bit of a busy housing committee meeting today. We had multiple people here from the public to speak to the committee. The first one we had was a woman who just had questions about one of our last meetings. Councilman Gonzalez brought up questions about just a possible cat code and what that would look like. But we were able to just kind of clear things up and say that there was no action taken. There's nothing on the table at this time. It was just something that was brought up for a topic of discussion, but again, no action at this time. Our second individual came to talk about the 5-day notice given by city code and just asking if there were possible extensions or ways to make that a little longer for people who need more than 5 days to remedy a code complaint. And Crystal from DOD was able to say that code officers are able to work with you very closely. So if you communicate with them and tell them your situation and what steps you're going to be taking to remedy your situation, they'll be able to issue extensions with what's appropriate. And then lastly, our last gentleman wanted to come in and advocate for more code enforcement help
Yes.
and more code enforcement officers, which we know are needed, that you guys
I'll never
do
stop
so-
asking.
We know you guys do so much for our community, and there's just so much.
Yeah.
So, but also talked about that they got their allocation from HUD. June 1st will be the end of public comment for the annual action plan. we are looking to vote on that in a few weeks on May 18th with also the public hearing for the annual action plan. And Crystal mentioned there are surveys that people can fill out and things. Can they just find those on?
Yeah, so on the city's website, there's a link to the annual action plan draft, the survey link. You can submit your comments in a number of different ways. The survey, of course, is one. You can send an email to DOD. You can send comments to the clerk's office, like many people do. You can come into the department. We have a printed hard copy of the draft. Make yourself at home and peruse through it and submit your comments in person if you like. So lots of different ways.
And of course, we always appreciate as much input as we possibly can. So we look forward to it. So that is it for housing.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
We have, and I'll pass these out, we have our annual Hands-on Neighborhoods cleanup on May 16th.
Oh yes.
And we have quite a few registrants already, but yes, more paper. All the trees. Down with the trees. No, I don't.
Don't put that on the headline.
Totally kidding. I love trees. Love trees. Yep. The more trees, the better. So this is our annual neighborhood cleanup. We will be meeting in Tracy Plaza at 8 a.m. on May 16th. We also are offering another registration location on the Riverwalk this year. So if folks want to do like the kayak thing and actually pull some stuff out of the water, we've noticed in the past that there's a lot of stuff in the water and some people like to kayak. So we will have a registration down by the Riverwalk if folks would like to do that as well. Something that we've been doing the last couple of years is typically it has been focused on downtown. There's still a huge focus on that. There's lots to do downtown. But there's a lot of people who like to do the Riverwalk. You can indicate when you register where you would like to be. And if it's not one of these that are on here, it can be your own neighborhood. It can be wherever you would like to go. So you just indicate where you want to go. We'll make sure that you get all the supplies that you need, and then you can go off into your neighborhood. And the important thing is knowing where it's going to be so that our DPW and our parks workers can come around and make sure they get the garbage bags picked up. So that's it. Perfect. I know. May 16th.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm just reading with interest here the Senate, New York Senate, Ag and
Yes, that was from one of our guests in Housing Committee.
yeah. God, I can't run my horse on a highway.
You cannot.
Section 364. Can't run my horses on a highway.
You good?
Sorry.
You walk them,
I'm
but you
sorry to
can't run,
disappoint
right?
you.
There's some trails.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Wow, Crystal. Finance, Councilwoman Satchmo.
Thank you, Madam President. Crystal had a busy night. She came to finance as well and kind of began to go over the action plan with us. The community development block grant money is a little less than what it's been previously. It's a little over $1.1 million. And we did have one resolution that came before the committee. We chose to table it. Basically, it's a resolution that authorizes and directs that the application be submitted and the action plan be submitted. The committee felt that we would like to have more dollar amounts into the specific program areas. Right now they just got the total amount recently. So if you look through the action plan, you'll see the dollar amounts as to be determined. So we decided to wait until there were figures filled in. That can happen by our next work session.
Okay.
So we look to take action on the resolution at that point in time.
You good
Yep.
with that?
Oh, yes, yeah, that was our suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, we,
So you're gonna table it until next week?
yeah, just till next week. We just needed a little bit more time to look at the programs and, some different projects that we know are in the queue, and then we can work backwards, I guess, from there.
Erica gave us kind of an update on finances. So far this year, sales tax are up 0.5% over last year, which is about $11,000. It is less than what's budgeted for this year. And the total amount of sales tax, when the money comes from the county, will be just over $2 million. It is too early at this time to estimate any type of tax increase or anything for the upcoming budget, because there aren't enough things that have happened in this year's time frame in order to come up with any kind of accurate working figure in that area. Good news for kind of the city's financial assets accounts. They're looking in the next month that they'll be moved into different accounts, split between two, and the interest rates are going to be higher interest rates than what the accounts were previously.
Lower.
Lower. The vans, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll let you explain more in detail.
We had the band sale on Thursday, and it was split between two bidders, and one came in at 3%, and the other one came in at 4%, and last year, the band was at a 4.25% interest rate, so we're below that this year with the split between the two. And that includes the DPU's piece, so the total band is 8.7, and part of it is for the DPU, and the rest of it is the city's. So.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I think that was it. And I have to report from finance.
No questions, comments from anyone? Alright, public safety.
Okay, we didn't have any resolutions, we did have one special event that was approved. That's the Gold Star Memorial to be held May 23rd, from 8 to 1 p.m., including set up and tear down at Veterans Memorial Park over on the west side. That's the Saturday before Memorial Day, annual memorial there. And then we did talk about also Memorial Day again, the parade, just to remind you that that's at 10 o'clock during 4th Street, Pendergast, 6th, Lakeview, and then Soldier Circle immediately following. We'll have a ceremony there as well. We did have people come from the public, and we got into a little discussion about neighborhood watches and the history of neighborhood watches, and if people are interested. I know we had several years ago, up to I believe over 60. We're not sure how many are actually active anymore, but there's reasons. Obviously, mentioned the fact that today with social media and people move away, and typically historically with neighborhood watches, there's an issue or issues that start them, and then people rally around it, and then as it kind of dissipates or the problem goes away or whatever, they kind of it fizzles out to some degree. And then we also talked about years ago, those of us who've been around forever remember night outs that we used to have, national night outs, and that is there a possibility to maybe do something? Usually that's the first week of August. It's a national event, and that we used to have several neighborhood watch groups that had events that evening where the police department and fire department would come out and meet with the residents and so forth, and that maybe that's something to look at, to do something at a smaller scale this year, even if it's in one or two places that may want to have an interest in doing something like that. So we brought that up, and I think that was it, pretty much. Just
That was
talked
pretty much it.
about that. So that was it for public safety.
Thank you. Department of Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President. We didn't have any resolutions, nor did we have anybody from the public come in to comment. We did speak briefly about flag planting for the upcoming Memorial Day in the future. But other than that, that was all that we had for discussion today.
Mary Ackland's not here. I don't know if you or Elliot, do you have anything? Okay. As Councilman Dope says, I mean, this month we will meet, we have 3 meetings. We'll meet next Monday, following Monday, that'll be a voting session on the 18th, I believe that is.
Yes.
And then the parade will be the 25th. And then we don't have a meeting June 1st. So we have 2 more meetings and then we're off for 2 weeks for city council, so. I don't have anything. So with that being said, everybody's anticipating.